In this video, you're going to learn how to pronounce English vowel sounds. That is not an easy thing to do, but it's very important. If you haven't mastered English vowel sounds, you're very likely to cause misunderstandings, to be mispronouncing all kinds of English words because vowels are in every word. So you need to know how to pronounce vowels clearly. That's what we're going to do in this lesson. I hope you're ready. I hope you're excited. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And now let's get into the video. Vowel sounds are simple, but if you don't know how to say them perfectly, you will struggle. Why is that? Because they are part of pretty much every single word, right? And so yes, they're simple, but you can cause a great deal of confusion if you have not mastered how to say them. We're going to spend a little time focusing on short vowel sounds. Now, this is a specific example from my course, Master English Pronunciation. If you want to check out that full course, which is over 9 hours long, you can do that. And this is just the first of many examples covered in the course. Vowels are part of the course in a section called The Essentials of English Pronunciation. So we're gonna, this is like a little preview, a little teaser for you, okay? We're specifically going to be focusing on short vowel sounds. So a little note on the difference. What is a short vowel sound compared to a long vowel sound? Generally, the short vowel sounds are a specific set of sounds, A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, that are not pronounced in the way that you say the name of the letter. And then the long vowel sounds are pronounced in the way that you say the name of the letter, with an exception on you especially, right? So, short vowel sound of A is not A. It's A, but also ah. And actually, there are some gradients there. It's not exactly the same all the time. It's not as simple as learning one thing, right? So that's A, and then there's E, which is pronounced E, and then I, which is pronounced I, and then O, which is pronounced ah, usually, and then U is just pronounced often And then if it's the long sound, then it's A, E, I, O, and U, which may be pronounced U or may also be pronounced oo. But again, it's not that simple because sometimes you have combinations of sounds that make short vowel sounds or long vowel sounds. So for example, E-N-O-U-G-H, enough. That nuff is not pronounced in the same way that H-O-U-S-E is pronounced. That's O-U-O-U. But H-O-U-S-E is pronounced house, and E-N-O-U-G-H is pronounced oof, enough. So what we should do is not say, oh, this letter makes this sound, or these two letters together make this sound. That is the wrong way to think. Instead, what you should think is, I must master these sounds using my ear, my self-awareness, and then my ability to practice so that I can make habits. If I can master these sounds, by mastering them with my mouth, the shape of my mouth, so that it sounds right when I speak, then it doesn't matter how it's spelled because I can always make the sound when I need to. So this is a reverse of how people usually think about learning pronunciation. Pronunciation is you learn how to say X sound. No. Pronunciation is you learn how to, you learn how to, what I meant to say there is, what most people think is pronunciation is that you learn how to say X letter or word. Okay, now once I know how to say that letter or word, then I've got it. In fact, it is a mastery of the mouth shapes required to make specific sounds no matter how those sounds are produced in letters. That's what I meant to say, all right? So we're going to spend a little bit of time on this. We're going to talk a bit about how we can do this. And we're going to look at this example. The sounds in, or the pink ones are the ones that we're actually going to be looking at here, okay? So we have an I there, and an I there, and an O there, and an I there, and a U there, and a U there, but an OU there. Okay, so how do we say these? How can we practice them? The best way is to go through it and talk about it. And you'll notice that some are not underlined. There's no pink color here for this, and there's no pink color here for this. So what's going on? Again, the only thing we can do is go through it. This is not a comprehensive lesson on vowels. If you want to really get into the weeds on this, then my full course is the way to go. This is a little bit of a sort of a taste of how to start learning vowel sounds, okay? So I want you to follow me. I want you to try to pronounce things along with me as I speak, okay? We're going to do them one by one, or a few at a time. And I want you to try to focus on mouth sounds, developing self-awareness, right? Really being honest with yourself. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. It will. It will. You could also say it will. Now notice when I say it, my lower jaw is pushed ever so slightly forward. And when I say will, same. It's not very open, no, not very wide, right? Fairly narrow, it. And my mouth is not so wide, this is a common issue, that I'm saying eat, because that's different. That's the long E sound. It will. It will not give. So we have the give here is the same, and then the not, nah, Well, doesn't that sound like the short A sound? Yeah, actually, fa, father, and na, not are either very, very close or the same, depending on who you talk to, right? So the short O is the same as one of the short A sounds, or at least very, very close. It will na, so that when I say na, my mouth is in the shape of an O. Sometimes it's like this, sometimes it's like this, a little wider, right? It will not give us. So we have another give, and you might have heard, okay, I thought if there's a vowel and then a consonant and then another vowel that I should, this one, right? If there's an E at the end or another vowel at the end, that I should make that a long sound. Not necessarily. Obviously not in this case. It will not give us much trouble. Now, us much trouble is the same sound, even though this is spelled O-U. Us much trouble. When you say the sound, your mouth is totally relaxed. Your face is totally relaxed. Your jaw is loose and hanging down, right? Like you just woke up from a coma. And your family and friends are around you and saying, what happened? And you say, That's the last thing you remember is you were playing tennis. And then all of a sudden, a rhinoceros bolted through one of the nearby doors and threw you up into the air with its horn. And then you went into a 9-year coma and woke up and said, And someone said, oh, that's the perfect U sound. Well done. All right, anyway. So it will not give us much trouble. It will not give us much trouble. Now, when we say to, ooh, we could say that's the double O, long O, ooh sound. But also when we say to in a sentence like this, we often make it what we could call, and should call, in fact, the schwa sound. S-C-H-W-A. Now, the schwa sound is something that's covered in depth in the course. But basically, it's a generic vowel sound that's very short, and every single vowel can make it. In this case, tu would be t, like that. T, and then fo. So fold is going to be the long O sound. So we have our first long vowel sound. Fo, o, fold. Then we have short I, short U, and then we have a short A. Now, short A makes it makes it makes right? It makes a few different sounds. It's kind of a fuzzier one because it makes a few different sounds. But in this case, showing my top teeth, and my mouth is wider. Okay? So, it will not give us much trouble to fold this stuff after dinner. Got it? It will not give us much trouble to fold this stuff after dinner. Short I sound there. And so again, we have the and put so now we have a different sound. This is not a short U sound, it's a sound. It's actually the short double O sound like book, right? And hook and put so you're kind of pushing your front lips forward there. Imagine when that rhinoceros barged through the doors, you were standing there playing your Sunday doubles tennis match. A rhinoceros bolts through the doors and sticks its horn right into your gut, and you say, ugh, and then you go into a coma. Well, that sound is the put sound. This is that sound that's in hook and book and look, okay? And put it on mom's bed. On, ma, ah. So there we have another nuance of the O sound. On is actually similar to the AU sound. Which is more narrow. On, and then ma, mom, mom's bed. Fa, father. Again, so close to that short A sound that I'm not sure if, depending on who you're talking to, if we can distinguish them. On mom's bed, short E sound. But short U sound with. You could say that's a schwa sound, maybe, or a short I sound, right? With all, and we usually blend those together. We're not going to spend time talking about that, but if you listen carefully, you'll notice I'm blending words together. All. This is not the ah sound. This on is the same as that O sound that we were looking at before, or very, very similar, okay? The other. So that's an O, other, but it's clearly a short U sound. Other. It's not other. It's not other. It's You woke up from the coma. Other. But it's an O. That's why we can't focus on specific letters. That's why we have to focus on sounds. It will not give us much trouble to fold this stuff after dinner and put it on mom's bed. But with all the other hard work still left to do, 10 minutes isn't enough. Okay, we have a few sounds here. Hard work. R. So that is an A sound. But the next one, OR, is, notice, not in pink. AR is there because we have A and R together, so it's R. Often OR together is or. For example, FOR, for. Hard, right? Card, R. There's a clear R sound. Losing my mind making these noises. I'm trying to repeat myself so that you can get these sounds, right? But in the case of work, in this specific case, there is no OR sound. It's just the R sound. If it's FOR or FORK, then it's fork, right? Fork. Corn. Clearly there's an O sound. But if it's work, we're hitting that R directly. There's no O there. So that's just something to pay attention to. And then still, basic short I sound, left, This is one we haven't talked about yet. The short E sound. We did talk about it with, did we talk about it with bed? Okay, we have to talk about the E. We've talked about I. We've talked about O, ah. We've talked about U, right? We've talked about, I, O, U, A. We've talked about A, right? Or or ah. What about E, bed, left? Okay, this is a tough one for a lot of people. I'm releasing something in the back of my tongue there. It's going It's going back slightly. Notice you can see my top and bottom teeth. I'm smiling a little bit, but it's not too wide, because if it's too wide, then it changes and becomes the long E sound, which is E. So what's the difference between and the short I sound? I. Look at the mouth shape. I. So when I say the short I sound, my mouth is not open quite as much, right? It's a little narrower. And as I said, I push my lower jaw ever so slightly forward when I say that one, right? So that's key. That's critical. Left, bed, ten. Okay? Hard work still left to do, ooh, long O sound, right? To do, the t is again probably schwa sound. To do, 10 minutes. Now the mi is a short I sound, but nuts is probably the schwa sound. And then is short I sound, na, short O sound, not enough. Again, the E. Okay, so the E there is a long E. The long E is E, very wide, smiling. E, we're focusing on the short sounds mostly with this example, but this is the long E sound. E, and then nuff, that is another OU, like trouble, that is the short rhino coma sound, right? Enough. Okay, so we have that whole piece there. It will not give us much trouble to fold this stuff after dinner and put it on mom's bed, but with all the other hard work still left to do, 10 minutes is not enough. So now that we have those sounds down, we should be able to start piecing them together into, well, whole words, then sections or sentences that then flow from one to the next. Again, we're not talking about making sentences flow from one word to the next now. That's something that's covered in depth in the course. We're not focusing too much on the long vowel sounds, right? Focusing mostly on the short sounds. And we're not focusing too much on the schwa sounds. All of those are covered in depth in the course, okay? So let's keep going. Now that we have it, we should be able to go through this second half faster. Let's get the close finished and. Let's get the. Now the is, we could say the schwa sound, the. We're not putting much stress on it, just a relaxed vowel sound. Let's get the clothes. So this one is the long O sound, O. O is the name of the letter, O. Let's get the clothes, and you can say this clothes if you want to, but a lot of people just say it the same as CLOSE, which is close. Okay, the close. Let's get the clothes finished. Now you could say that with double short I, or it could be fi and then nisht, which is the schwa sound for the second. I think people say it both ways. Finished, and we know and after that, and after that, same A sound for those. Get the rest. We have a short E sound, then the schwa E sound with the, and then rest. Let's get the rest done. Now this D-O-N-E, done, is not the long O sound. Again, you may have heard, okay, if you have an O followed by a consonant followed by E or another vowel, then it's going to be the long sound. In this case, not, Because it's not. It is pronounced done, which is the short U sound. Same as D-U-N, which is not a word, but that is how you would say that, okay? Get the rest done. Lugging. The ging is a little weird. It's not a short I sound. ING is pronounced ing. Ing. It's actually the long E sound with the ing happening at the back of your throat. We're not going to spend too much time on that, but ing. Lugging. And then Allen's. Allen, Allen, that's the A sound, and then the lun is the schwa sound. The second A is the schwa, and the first A is the regular A sound. Heavy, H-E-A, is that pronounced as he? No, it's he, short E sound. Old, O-L-D, old, long O sound. Athletics, short A sound, short E sound. Letics, but then equipment is the long E sound. Quip is the W sound, whip, and then the short I sound, like W-I-P, whip, equipment. And you could say the M-E-N-T meant is the schwa sound, okay? Lugging Allen's heavy old athletics equipment boxes, boxes. So that is the short O sound, x's, says. It's probably a schwa sound. Boxes, says. Yeah, I think that's probably a schwa sound there. Up the. Now we're sort of getting the feel for this. Steps, short E sound. Okay, we know that. To the double schwa sound. Attic, short A sound. Tick, probably a schwa sound. Is short I sound. Probably. Short O sound. Ubly, could be a schwa sound, probably a schwa sound. Gonna, short U sound, maybe A sound, maybe schwa sound. So, lugging Allen's heavy old athletics equipment boxes up the steps to the attic is probably gonna be, long E sound, we know how to say the now, toughest, O-U, but short sound, toughest, first, probably schwa sound, right? If you hear it very, very short, very small sound, there's probably that's schwa sound. Job, okay, short O sound, the toughest job. Expect, so that E is not expect or expect, but it's probably a schwa sound. And then the second E sound is the short E sound. The to do, the first to is the schwa sound, and then do, long O sound. To do. And then to schwa sound, tomorrow. It's not tomorrow, it's tomorrow. And then morrow is actually very close to the that father, morrow, that mix between the short O and A sound. Maybe they're the same, maybe they're just very close. I still haven't decided yet. And then O. OW is pronounced the same as the long O sound. To be, schwa sound for the T, and then B, long E sound, and then longer, longer. Not longer, but longer, short O sound. So, the whole thing, it will not give us much trouble to fold this stuff after dinner and put it on mom's bed. But with all the other hard work still left to do, 10 minutes is not enough. Let's get the clothes finished, and after that, get the rest done. Lugging Alan's heavy old athletics equipment boxes up the steps to the attic is probably going to be the toughest job. Expect the to-do tomorrow to be longer. Now, I'm not expecting you to be able to say that perfectly immediately. What I do want you to do is really focus on these short, especially short vowel sounds, but also a few interesting other things in there too. The schwa sound, the fact that different combinations of letters and letters can make the same sounds, and the fact that it's not as simple as saying this letter equals this sound. That is very, very important to keep in mind. We also looked at a couple of long sounds, but we were more focused on the short ones. If you have any questions about this, let me know. If you found this interesting and you feel like you'd like to get more practice and you want to be able to really master this, this was a very quick overview of this. If you want to get in the weeds and master pronunciation in depth, right, with me, check out my 9-hour course on this topic. In the course, I will say every word. You will say the word after me. You'll repeat after me to practice shadowing the word so that you can master all these sounds. Then after we go through all the sounds, we go to a full example. This is one of the examples from the course, but there are many, many, many in the course. Check that out if you are interested in really, really mastering your pronunciation and building really strong pronunciation habits. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so that you can see future videos that I put out. And if you want to join the Discord, you can do that as well. It's free. Announcements there from me, as well as chatting and having a nice little community. And also, besides grabbing that course, you can grab a free course also in the links in the description.